Well, the presidential election is Sunday, and I've thought long and hard about not talking about it. But I suppose I have as little insight and as little to add as everyone who is talking about it, so why not? Tonight I'm not going to endorse anybody. That's not my place, and it's not my desire. If I were you, I wouldn't listen to anyone anyway about whom you should vote for. Do you really think they've thought about it any more than you have? But the fact that I'm a foreigner, an American, has attracted a swarm of Romanians to me recently, sort of like flies in a cow field, who do want to talk politics. And you wouldn't be surprised to know that they're not happy with the way politics works here. And they say it in a way that suggests because of the way politicians act when they campaign, because of the way they don't act when they're in office, that these people want nothing to do with it. Nothing. They don't want to listen, they don't want to think about it, they don't even want to vote. And I've had one message for them, that believe it or not, politics is not that different here or anywhere else in my experience. You can look at other countries from afar, sure, and it's easy to think, now, why can't Romania be more like that? A functioning government, politicians on TV looking like statesmen, rational discourse, a sense of purpose, unity of country and ideals. Well, believe me, that's a perception that only works if you don't live in those other countries. I've always loved politics. Probably because I was a kid in the 1960s and old enough to worry about being drafted into the Vietnam War. In high school, I read about the Watergate scandal every day. I skipped school to work for George McGovern in 1972, and then I skipped school again in 1976. I worked on Capitol Hill for a U.S. senator, and I've spent a lot, maybe too much time, with politicians and lobbyists. I love politics. But what I don't love is what happens to people after they're in politics. I've seen it happen even to those who work around politics, write about politics, talk about politics. The game becomes the point. The process becomes paramount. The profession is no longer a means to an end. No. For those who enter it, it becomes quickly an end in itself. It's justified with the thinking that nothing good can be done unless first I win. But after the victory, the game resumes, not the results. Unfortunately, I think Socrates was right when he describes the difficulty in finding a leader. True lovers of wisdom and the good they don't want the power. That's associated with ruling. They too often, only those who don't deserve it actually want it. Now that's true everywhere. You don't need to read many history books on the U.S. to discover that for 200 years, our political system, when viewed from inside, has been repeatedly shameful and in shambles. Name-calling, rumors, lies, mudslinging, assassinations, cartoons of candidates as monkeys, snakes, or dogs. It can bring out some of the most base and disgusting of human behavior. So here, well, you haven't had time, perhaps, to establish more coherent rules and traditions for how politics and governments work. And again, maybe that won't help. Look at the fistfights that break out inside Parliament in India, Taiwan, Mexico, Italy. Maybe this country is destined to be the Italy of the Black Sea, as someone recently suggested to me. That's okay. I love Italy. But the one thing I haven't said to all these people who've come up to me, the one thing I've wanted to say to the ones who dismiss politics with a shake of their head, a disdainful look in their eyes, stop complaining. Stop feeling separate and alienated from things here. Stop looking away and standing back and shrugging your shoulders and resigning yourselves to the government as if it were some kind of artificial edifice. That's what politicians want to create, to make themselves believe and make others believe that they are different, they're untouchable, separate, special. So stop complaining, I want to tell them, and do something about it. Too idealistic, you think? Well, I've met idealistic, intelligent, and capable people here, many of them. So I suggest, if you don't like it, you've got 5 years to get ready. And that's my commentary. As always, I'd like to read yours. You can send them to thefrankshow@tmctv.ro. And that is the show for tonight. And to find this week's interviews, visit www.money.ro or tmctv.ro. We'll be back here next week, as always, with the day's summary of business news and our interviews with some of the top business people in Romania. And we'll see you at our regular time at midnight on Monday. Until then, thank you for watching, keep well, and good night.